Okay, chat, so FF7, I watched Advent Children, and the only reason I want to talk about this is because I wanted to make a video about it, and I never did, and I was like, it's the 20th anniversary yesterday, or I guess today in America, so it is time to talk about it. Either way, I beat FF7 OG, I loved it, it was great, it somehow held up, I think, in my opinion, to what I thought it would be, and surpassed that, shockingly. And I watched Advent Children the day after, or I think the night of. How I think it's kind of not that good. Like I said, I've talked about it on stream a while ago, but it wasn't like exhaustively because I wanted to make a video and I never did, so I kind of screwed myself. But I think it's just okay. Yeah. So my biggest complaint. I watched it. I was so excited for this movie. Like, I've cosplayed this guy before. I made the fusion sword. Like, surely it's cool. Everyone talks about how cool it is. So I was going in thinking it would be so sick, and it was sick. But God, is it like, it's obviously fan servicey, right? And people also, if you don't know, I've played Crisis Core, I've played Dirge of Cerberus, and if you don't know my stance on Crisis Core, I think the game kind of sucks. Nothing to do with the story, it's just a boring game. The ending is phenomenal, it made me cry, you know, blah, 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 but it just... Crisis Core, Dirge, FF7 OG, Advent Children, and then remake series. Let's just say those 5. Crisis Core is my least favorite of those 5 things. And then Dirge I actually really enjoyed, even though it also has issues, but it was cool. But, Advent Children, I'm getting distracted. As all the trilogy, or all the compilation stuff for FF7 is, it's FF7. It's Final Fantasy. It's so I'm gonna like it, at least like out of a rating of a 10 scale. It will get a 4 to 5 out of 10 minimum, because it's FF7, right? That's biased, but that's just how it is. Advent Children is like a 6 out of 10. It gets like 1 extra point for me. And the reason I say that is because I fell asleep in the middle of the movie. I fell asleep in the middle of the movie, which I've never really done. And now, it was late. We finished the movie by like 12:30, but 12:30? That's not that late, right? I'm a college student. I'm not going to take points off because I fell asleep, but like, I was shocked. I was dozing off in the middle of it. It has so many cool moments. Like, when you start out, you get the Red 13 and his kids, or in white, whatever, and it's like 2 years prior, like right here, it's like 2 years before the 500 years later, like, original ending of FF7 thing. You're like, that's cool. But seeing that in, like, good rendered stuff. And you see, like, Rufus, and you see, like, Tifa, and you're like, oh my god, Tifa. Yeah, all right, who doesn't love Tifa? And then you see Cloud and the Fusion Sword, and it starts out really sick, because you're like, I imagine when you watch this as well, after Crisis Core came out back in, 2005, watching this was probably so sick, because you're like, oh my god, I haven't seen these characters in a couple years, in the nice fidelity, fully voiced, a continuation, not a prequel, because Crisis Core is a prequel, so it's like, oh my god, it's actually continuing stuff. So it was probably so exciting. In the movie, you can feel that. In the first 30 minutes, you're like, this is crazy. This is awesome. It looks great. The music is sick. The bike chase with Fenrir, and you see the Buster Sword all like wilted, and then you see Cloud and Kadaj, and you're like, Sephiroth's back. It's like, it's classic fan servicey, just like really cool moments that if you play FF7, you're gonna like, and I loved it. But the middle 40 minutes is just not that great. Like, I think my least favorite part is the movie is the burial scene. And so there's like nothing in the movie that I dislike, in the sense of like, I don't like this because this character and this character are doing this, or blah, blah, blah. Like, all of that's fine. Like, the characterization of the characters, I think, is okay. Aerith and Cloud moments are great, with like him, still being all sad and depressed. Like, that's Cloud. It basically, like, the antithesis is of him is like being sad and depressed, right? And Aerith is dead. She's still dead. He's still sad. That's who he is. That's, most of the original game as well. He seems that way until the end of the game. He feels a bit better, but, it's an old game, so it's kind of hard to tell the exact emotions. And we'll see in part 3 how much of that, like, sadness and emotional baggage he still carries on by the end, because it's obviously going to be much easier to recognize with the facial animations and whatnot. But in Advent Children, he's still carrying a lot of that baggage, which is fine. I think that's great. Like, it's kind of like feels reused and kind of like, okay, let's do something else. But that's FF7. It's all about, sadness and being emotional and losing people you care about. And that's just, it is what it is, right? Or that's part of what the message is. So that was fine. All the moments between the characters I really did enjoy. But I'm getting ahead of myself again. This scene, the burial scene with the kids, it felt boring, man, which is crazy to say. But it was, even though the fight was cool. I don't know why. Since I saw AC, but I only remember 3 parts. Tifa fight, Bahamut fight, in the end when Cloud sees Aerith. That's true. Those are like some of the best moments in the movie by far. Tifa fight everyone talks about. Obviously, Cloud and Aerith, like Aerith being like by Cloud, you know, it's the end of the movie, and then yeah, the Bahamut fight is like really sick. And I have some thoughts about the Bahamut fight, and they're mostly good, but it's just up until the Bahamut fight, I was getting tired. It's FF7. And you know, if I'm like kind of sleepy, I think I watched this right after I beat OG. The night I beat OG, I think I ended the stream, and me, Coco, and Zach booted it up and watched this together, right? And I was like, this is great. I get to watch FF7 with my friends who also love FF7 and they've seen it before, so they could hear my reaction. And I was like, I just beat the game. I have to watch it now. I'm so excited. I probably talk about it in the end of my playthrough if you go back in the video. The first 30 minutes, you're hyped because it's the movie starting, and then this middle 30 minutes is just kind of rough, man. Like, and it's weird to say that. Bro is sacrificing the kids. Like, what? Right, and Vincent comes back, and there's a cool fight that happens, too. And then there's, like, this period, even though there's action going on, it felt like it was dragging on. And it's only a 2-hour movie as well. It's not that long. 2 hours is, like, an average time for a movie, I think. I just didn't love it. I also feel like maybe I'm stupid, and I've seen both sides to this. The moment where Cloud is still sad about Aerith passing, he's still, like, mourning over it, right? And Tifa's like, you gotta get over this. Like, it's either me or the dead girl or whatever she said. And I was like, whoa. Like, whoa. Like, Tifa, what do we say? I don't even know what it was. But Zach and Coco, they were hyping it up, and they were like, this is crazy for her to say. And they were like, I don't like this. They didn't like that she said that. Because she was like, that's fucked up for Tifa to say. And Zach is a diehard Tifa fan. Coco's a diehard Aerith fan. Both were like, this is crazy. And I heard that, and I was like, I don't know. I was also shocked. I feel like that's a crazy thing for Tifa to say, but then I've asked some other people, and I've heard some other people's opinions about it, and they've also said, like, you know what, nah, Tifa stood on business, and this was right for her to say, because, you know, Aerith has been dead roughly 2 years, and Cloud is still mourning. He's still mourning. It's like, dude, get over it, right? And I was like, yeah, I guess that's true, get over it. It makes sense, but it just felt like weird. Like, I feel like as I'm talking through it, it does make more sense because that's just Tifa growing up and being like, you know what, I'm gonna stand on business now and not be a pushover. Like, that was good that she said that, but I felt crazy she said that. I was like, dude, this is crazy. Her whole arc is her getting over like these feelings and being able to like stand up for herself. So it's a good thing she said that. I don't know, man. I'm going in a circle here. The localization too, maybe would like make it different. I really don't know. I'm not going to get into whole like localization, translation, like what's good and bad, because like that's just a stupid like conversation. Whatever it says on the subtitles or in the dub is, you know, what it is. I'm not going to get upset over it. I love Tifa. That's my girl. Yeah, it felt she felt a bit odd in the movie, but I guess once again, Cloud is like a dick. Like, Cloud is still sad, which that's his whole thing, but like, bro, come on. It should have been like a 1 hour movie, but it was 2 hours. Like, it felt like what happened could be condensed so much. And this wasn't even the extended version. And it makes me sad to say that because, like I've said a billion times, I'm going to say it one more time. I love FF. I love Final Fantasy VII. It means so much to me. I love the world and I love every single character. And so I was like, damn, I was bored with a movie about something that means so much to me. I can't pinpoint it. Actually, you know what? No. I think the reason is trying to be too melodramatic. Maybe? No, man. I'm not smart enough for this analyzation shit. I'm just a guy who likes games and movies and shit, and like I just like watching it and enjoying stuff. Like in English class when they're like, identify this sentence and like the deeper meaning behind it. I was like, I don't know. Okay, so maybe I'm too dumb. Too cliche? I think it just felt very samey to the games, and I just wanted to see the cool stuff happen. Because I've played FF7, I've experienced the emotions and the great character dynamics and the action, obviously, and like this whole story that is absolutely phenomenal and has so much like nuance, even though I suck with nuance, but like the game does it very well. The original surprisingly does it very well still. And so I watched this movie and I'm like, it just feels like the game again, but it's obviously a 2 hour movie and there's lots of cool action, but everything in between is just connecting the action to connect it. I just think it's kind of boring, man. It makes me sad. It was obviously probably made because FF7 was so popular. It was like the best-selling PS1 game of all time, and they want to make more money. They want to continue it because FF7 is their Square Enix's love child. So of course they're gonna milk it hard. So that's also part of why they would do the movie, of course. So I understand that. Probably like this little fraction of why the movie was made of, like, the creators, Nojima and Kitase and Nomura, whoever wanted to come back and do something FF7. Probably a sliver of that. Probably a sliver of it will make us money. And then also, they were getting into film at this time. Square Enix made the Final Fantasy live action, and they lost them so much money. And they were like, okay, they probably planned this alongside the live action, because they're like, hey, we're going to make a live action, and we're also going to do an animated series or an animated movie, because FF7's popular, right? And so they could cover both the animated and live action front. And live action did bad, and AC didn't. I don't think it did like amazing. It didn't save them, because they still lost so much money. Sakaguchi, he went to school for film, I'm pretty sure. I did a paper on it or something about video games, but he went to school for like film and like directing and stuff. And that's why a lot of FF cutscenes are so like film adjacent, is because like they wanted to make something like high quality film, whatever. So I think it also feels like the movie was made for reasons other than like we have a really good story to tell. And that's what I'm trying to get at here, is that I can feel that it's made with love and passion for the characters, but I feel more of, here's FF7, you guys really like it, here's cool character moments, but now we got to connect these cool moments so it's not just a jumbled compilation mess of fights. And that's that. Like, that's, I guess, that's what I have to say about it. I've been kind of running in circles with a lot of thoughts about the movie for the past, 30 minutes. So I don't know if it's cohesive or not, but I hope we get this stuff in Part 3. Like, I hope there's an Advent Children section, in the sense of, at the end of Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3, when the credits roll, this isn't on the horizon. I don't want the remake to end the same way the original did, in the sense of, okay, now for Advent Children, because then it's like, why, right? And I know that's the whole point of the remake thing, and that's a whole other conversation for another day, but I want them to tie this stuff into Part 3, so that by the end of the game, maybe they'll hit us with the 2 years later, like they did with this, or 498 years earlier, like they did in Advent Children, but instead of it being Advent Children, it's something else. So it's like a nod at like, oh my god, look, it's like Advent Children, but wait, because this is a sequel, or whatever it is, this is now what's happening with all the characters. And this thing won't happen anymore because Sephiroth's from the future, and Aerith is also from the future, or whatever the final like outline will be in the end, because who knows what's happening with the story really at all. So that's not related to how I feel about the movie, but that's how I hope Part 3 is, because like I want something I love to not be milked to the end of time. Either way, my biggest qualm is that the fights are the coolest part about it. FF7, it's a game you fight things, right? That's the whole point. Beside the story is you fight things, but I play Final Fantasy for the combat and the story. But I watch a movie for the story. It felt like the story was the least important part about this. And that makes me sad, because FF7, the story is the most important part about that game, the original, and it's also the best part about the game, especially for when it was made. And it's weird for me to say that, because I was not even in parents' mind when that game was made. And I was expecting the OG game to not be great. I was actually going into the game being like, you know what? I don't like this as much as the remake stuff. That's fine. I don't care. I just want to play it. So I've played it and see the rest of the story. And it's old, and it is what it is. And no one in my ear yapping if it was good or if it was bad, because I have both people in my ear saying that it's good and saying that's bad. So it wasn't like influenced from one way or another. Obviously, I'm biased because I like remake, and that game came out at a special time for me. But the original game, the story's lovely. It's so crazy how stuff plays out. And so I think I just wanted that in a movie, and it just doesn't do that. Just more of what the game does. In some cooler ways, because it's 3D CG, and it's voiced, and the music is fucking sick, and the aesthetic is fucking sick. And I love Cloud Strife. I love everybody. Barrett, they did my man so dirty. They continue to do Barrett dirty. Always. We get Square Enix. We gotta get on that. TLDR, Advent Children. I liked it. Happy 20th anniversary. I still enjoy the movie. I'd love to rewatch it again. I'd love to watch it in Japanese as well. It's got some great moments. And I hope we get... Honestly, I don't hope we get another Advent Children-esque movie. I hope we're done. Not because I don't want more FF7, but I would really love to have we need a 10 out of 10 landing finish on part 3, so that then I can be like, this is the greatest thing of all time, and I can move on. And Advent Children clearly tried to like continue that 10 out of 10 landing that the original had, and they kind of fumbled a bit. Hoping part 3 can they can retry and try to get that landing again, which a lot of people think they won't, especially after Rebirth ending, but I think they will still. So yeah, that's that.